We have an update on LeBron James and Giannis in the bubble, an update on Jalen's award voting ballot. But we start with an explosive report from CNN. They are reporting that while he was an ambassador to the United Kingdom, Woody Johnson was investigated by the State Department for making racist and sexist comments. Among the allegations are that Johnson made racist comments about black men and questioned the purpose of Black History Month. He allegedly argued that black fathers don't remain with their families, calling it, quote, the real challenge. Jalen, what do you think this will lead to him no longer being the owner of the New York Jets?
I think ultimately Woody Johnson has just started the process of him not being an owner in the NFL again. And this timing could not be worse for him. And I want to educate him and other people who say what he said about black families. Do you realize that there was something that took place in this country called slavery that took men and women and children from their families over 400 years ago? Do you not know that? That's what started black families to be broken. I just get tired of that stupid analogy being thrown out there. The other thing, Black History Month. You don't know why it's being recognized? You don't know? So again, as a league that is filled with majority of black players, you've seen what Jamal Adams has already tweeted about it. I do not see that being someplace that players are going to be enthusiastic about signing up to go play football, especially in this era, social unrest. He should be,
I think it's also
disciplined and not an owner in the NFL.
I believe this will lead to him no longer being an owner in the NFL. And I also think it's important to recognize that in the wake of the investigation and the allegations from the Washington football team, we have this, that he comments on women's appearances, and he was holding events at men's only clubs where his female colleagues and other people could not attend. It's another example of people in positions of power misusing that power and creating a work environment that is unhealthy. And I believe that this creates a work environment that is unhealthy if you are an employee of the New York Jets. And I do not think that he will be moving forward. And there will be a lot of more details coming out as time goes on about these allegations.
So this is the gentleman that says out of his mouth that women work harder and are cheaper. Like, he will not continue to be an owner in the NFL. We have seen some owners get away with some things. Looking at you, Dan Snyder, and the Washington football team. They're going through an investigation right now. He will not be the owner in the NFL for very long.
We'll keep you up to date with these allegations and the details as they come in the coming days. But now we move on to LeBron James. And his new running mate, Anthony Davis, had this to say about his teammate.
The things he's doing at his age, I mean, he's playing like probably one of his best years. Top team in the West. The things he's able to do on the floor, especially when everybody was saying, he was washed and he should hang it up and all these things. He come back with a dominant performance, and then just to be even in the race, at this age, at this point in his career, and for me to see it every night, and the things he do on a consistent basis, not in stretches, 3 games here, 4 games here, but he does it every night. And he's been doing it his whole career. I think it's a good argument for him to be MVP.
Anthony Davis made some strong statements supporting LeBron James for MVP, and he mentioned his age a lot. Jalen, do you think people like yourself that vote on the award will take that into consideration when they cast their ballots?
You shouldn't. And people keep bringing up age like that's a part of the argument. I'm going to give you the better argument for LeBron James. He normally plays power guard, which usually is the second largest or tallest guy closing games, in particular in Miami, playing alongside Chris Bosh, or even in Cleveland playing alongside Kevin Love. How about this? He's officially playing point guard, like a la Magic Johnson, and leading the league in assists. Now, that's the outstanding thing that people aren't really stressing enough. They're talking too much about the age and things like that. Mm-hmm. You can't not give it to Giannis because he's younger and leads his team in so many statistical categories and has better numbers than LeBron as it relates to points, rebounds, blocks, steals, win shares. Team has a better overall record. Giannis Antetokounmpo deserves the MVP this year, Jacoby.
So, I believe that that LeBron is the MVP, but it's not because of his age, but his age does factor into it, and here's why. It's his wisdom and his experience, his knowledge of what the other teams are trying to do. And if you look at his production here at the age of 35, one of the best to ever do it at that age, but it's also the degree of difficulty. Giannis has a system around him that didn't change that much from last season to this season. And his production didn't change that much from last season to this season. LeBron James didn't make the playoffs last year, made number 1 in the West this year. Brand new head coach, brand new superstar teammate, also about 5 or 6 brand new teammates. And he goes out there and leads that team to the number 1 in the Western Conference. He's a coach on the floor. He is the MVP. Someone who his own coach says calls plays like Tom Brady and calls out plays like Mike Singletary. That is value. That is the most valuable player in the NBA, clearly.
Jacoby, did you just say as part of your argument they reshaped their roster by adding Anthony Davis to a system?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Come on now. No.
Brand new head coach, brand new team. Brand new head coach, brand new team.
They have 2 of the
Seamless
top
transition
7
led by
players
LeBron James.
in the NBA. LeBron James has done a terrific job of molding that squad. Danny Green, just so you know, won 2 championships before he got to the Lakers. Rajon Rondo won 1 before he got there as well. Kyle Kuzma is going to perform really well in the playoffs. The Lakers have a fantastic team. LeBron James is on Minnie's Mount Rushmore, but me got to pass Magic. But I'm just saying, if I'm talking about this year's MVP, I can't not give it to Giannis because he's younger.
I didn't say anything about his age. I didn't say a single thing about his age. LeBron James is the MVP because there's a degree of difficulty with what he's doing. He has a whole new team and a whole new coach, and they didn't hit any bumps. When was the last time you heard Frank Vogel's name? And LeBron James doesn't always get along with his new coaches. We've seen it happen time and time again.
That's outstanding.
It is. It's value.
That's why they got the best record in the West.
He's playing point guard. You said he's playing point guard, right? He is leading that team. He controls everything. It's the eye test. You just keep pointing back to Giannis's numbers, but I know you and I both were staying up late watching the Lakers game. Yes, Giannis. Does Giannis lead the team? Does he call out the plays? Does he run the offense and the defense the same way LeBron James does? Does he?
Yes,
answer that question,
more.
Please.
Giannis is gone.
Does he have the basketball IQ?
Let me ask you this.
Let me ask you this.
What Anthony Davis does defensively for the Lakers, Giannis does for the Bucks, which is why those 2 guys are the leading candidates to win Defensive Player of the Year. Look at those team ranks. You saying doing it all for a squad? That's the definition of doing it all for a squad. And I'll say this. It's really important for the Bucks to do well in this bubble. You don't want to lose Giannis. He's going to be around other players in the league. They get bounced in the first or the second round. People going to start to wonder, can Giannis win with those guys? Does he have to do like LeBron and leave Cleveland? Or like KD and leave OKC to win a championship? It's important for the Bucks to fare well in the bubble. I believe if they win a championship, Giannis does a Patrick Mahomes and signs a long-term deal. If they don't win a championship, I believe he holds out and he tries to figure out if they're going to add more pieces to the puzzle and or see what happens next year. That's what I believe. That's why it's so very important.
So I believe that as well. I think that there's so much riding on the Bucks' performance. But don't you think the bubble environment, don't you think the 4 months off, don't you think that can sort of put an asterisk on this season? So if they don't perform well in the playoffs, they make an argument to Giannis saying, look, these were special circumstances. We didn't have home games. We were stuck in Orlando for 3 months. That's why we lost in the second round of the Eastern Conference. Under normal circumstances, we probably would have made a real championship run. You think that doesn't sort of put an asterisk on his potential free agency? A poor performance,
like Curtis Blow said, they are playing basketball. If their team is in the bubble and healthy, Bledsoe there, DiVincenzo there, their entire squad healthy and ready to go, Lopez brothers, if they're ready to go, and they don't win the East, I'm just putting it out there that I believe Giannis then does not sign a long-term extension this offseason. I believe if they win it all, he does.
Oh, yeah. I think there's no question if they win it all, if he holds the trophy up in the MVP of the finals in the other arm, he will sign long-term. But I don't think that's going to happen, Jalen. I think it's going to be really interesting after this bubble is over, when the Bucks do not win. What sort of thoughts, what sort of quotes, what sort of decisions Giannis Antetokounmpo makes? I can't wait for that. Jalen.
So who you got beating them? Toronto, Miami? You said when they do not win, Philly, Boston? I just got to get you to say an answer to that really fast.
Philly. I got Philly. It is time for you to take us behind the curtain. Jalen, we argue about who the NBA MVP is. However, you're the only one that actually has a vote. The votes will be placed before the regular season starts in Orlando. Do you have your ballot?
I don't have my ballot just yet, but it's always a stressful time because I respect the players, I respect the game, and I take pride in being a voter and using my expertise to get the awards right, Jacoby. And since the majority of the season has been played, I think I pretty much know who's going to win each award, but I got to look deeper into the all-NBA and the all-defensive teams.
Yeah, because those ones can change the compensation of the athletes that you're voting on. So those ones are important as well. I always love how stressed out you get. Just that you're worried about your internet going out. You're worried about who you should vote for. You
try to do it at the last minute of the last
voting
second.
for the awards. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. This is the segment where Jalen decides, but we discuss. It is called Keep It Moving. If you would like to just say hit the break. If not, keep moving in the minivan. Jalen, 3 Astros were hit by pitches yesterday. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes.
While playing an exhibition game against the Royals, 3 Astros were plunked. Jalen, do you think this is retribution for the cheating scandal?
Absolutely. This is what happens when not only you cheat, you get caught and win a World Series, and the core group of those players are still on that same squad. They not only did it to the point where they became champions, but as you hear the details emerge, it was so very flagrant and disrespectful to the history of the game. So absolutely, I'll continue to see players get plunked for that behavior.
It's not just what you do, it's how you do it. These all seem very intentional, and I am here for it. I love the idea that every time the Astros go to a new ballpark and step in the batter's box, they're going to be worried about getting hit. I love it so much. Moving on, the NFL is going to allow some special helmet decals. Jalen, keep moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes.
They plan to allow social justice decals on the back of helmets, sort of little stickers in the back. What do you expect to see on that back of the heads of NFL?
I'm not mad at them being in the back. And progress always matters. But can it be on the side? Can it be on the front? I watch a lot of football. You know what I don't see? The back of their neck, the back of their head. What do you think?
Well, they put a lot of decals there. You know, that's kind of like the spot where they put things when people pass away with the franchise or something like that. But it's better than nothing. But I'm interested to see exactly what will be allowed. The same thing happened with the back of NBA jerseys. It came out, you can have a decal there. Then they came out with league-approved ones. So I think it'll be very similar in the NFL as well.
We want league-approved ownership.
Moving on. The Pistons jersey is going to look a little bit different next year.
The brakes.
The Pistons will be associated with a winner next season because they will have Michael Jeffrey Jordan's logo on their chest. Jalen, what do you think about these new unis?
Wow. Oh, man, this takes me back to my childhood, Jacoby. These two entities in the same place at the same time coexisting in 2020. It wasn't like that in the early 90s. Pistons won 2 championships back-to-back as the bad boys before the Bulls got started, and they finally overcame Detroit, and they beat us, Jacoby. And yes, we did walk off and didn't shake their hands. One of my favorite moments in the history of sports.
Jalen, A Bulls rookie has already started saying negative things about the head coach. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
They haven't changed their coach yet. I'm never lobbying for people to lose their job, but they have great young talent, including Zach LaVine, one of my guys. Keep it moving.
We keep it moving. We keep it moving.
Senator Kelly Loeffler sort of doubled down
Hit the
on her
brakes.
stance against the Black Lives Matter movement. She said that the WNBA's support for the Black Lives Matter movement would make some fans, quote, feel excluded. Jalen, what do you think?
I don't want people to get ostracized for saying their opinion. Allow them to keep talking. However, when they're in a position of power and they're one of the owners of a WNBA team, you can't, for public consumption, multimedia say, hey, stick to sports. She's a politician. And you know what? Us talking about her is doubling down on her contingency. So they will vote for her. This is all an election year game, David Jacoby. And based on that, she does not deserve the opportunity to be one of the owners in the WNBA. And just like we talked about Washington, the NFL team was going to change their name. It's going to happen. Mark it down. Turn over the hourglass. Just a matter of time before she isn't an owner. Trust me.
It really is. And supporting the Black Lives Matter movement it's a movement for equality. It's a movement against social injustice. If that makes you feel excluded because of equality and lives mattering, that really says something about you. And perhaps the WNBA doesn't want you to be a fan. Moving on. Jalen, I really want to show you this video of a karate kick.
The break.
Take a look at this spinning back kick right here. See, what guy in the white seems really calm. Bang!
Oh.
Right there, knocked out on his feet. Jalen, could you kick that high?
I'm all about that. And once I've stretched and worked out for like 12 straight months, I can do that round kick. But I tell you, you'll rip a groin. I'm telling you, dog. You got to be in shape to do that. That was powerful right there. We got to send him a hoodie.
I can't get my foot above my waist, let alone my head. Like, if I did that spinning back kick, it would probably land in the opponent's shin. For real.
But what about the guy that took the blow? How about him? I couldn't be him either.
No. Oh,
what a
no.
way to make
I wouldn't
a
even
living.
stand in there. I wouldn't even stand in there. But one thing I do like is if you watch the gentleman in the black, after he lands the kick, he immediately walks over. He seems concerned. He seems genuinely concerned. He's like, I just kicked that guy in the head really hard.
You know what?
He's
Be concerned before you kick me in the head. You know, how about that? How about that? How about that for our friendship? You know,
show your sympathy. Show your sympathy before you kick me in the head. Not
like I
after
said,
you kick me in the head.
people bring flowers to your funeral, but don't bring you soup when you sick. State property taught us that. You see, that's a perfect example.
It's a really good example. As someone who has had many concussions, I really hope that young man is okay. Jalen, moving on. All businesses have had to adjust, and there's one way that a gentleman's club has adjusted to the pandemic. Keep it moving or hit the break.
Is this a break?
In Houston, Texas, a place known for their gentlemen's clubs, one of them has a drive-through strip club where you wait in line, just like you do at a fast food place. You get to a stall, and then you sort of sit there and look in for 2 songs. I can't believe we're actually talking about this, and I can't believe the excitement on your face. You would definitely go there. I know you would definitely go there. Are we about to road trip to Houston? I'm not driving to Houston with you, Jalen. I am not driving to Houston with you.
We are on our way, and we're going to get some seafood at Bun B's restaurant. No doubt about it. And we'll do it while the Rockets are playing. We'll watch the game on our phones. Harden, Westbrook, 2 songs. Jacoby, that's giving the people what they want.
Jalen, there's absolutely no chance that is happening. Feel free.